I've been driving a 2025 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid XSE technology package for about the past 5 or 6 months now. And there's 5 things that I've been doing totally wrong and getting totally wrong with this Toyota RAV4 Hybrid that I'm going to tell you about so that you don't do the same and that you get the most efficiency and the most out of your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid just ahead. Starting with number one, and that is the most tempting in my opinion, which is using the right driving mode in the right circumstance. So for example, there's about 5 different driving modes in the current generation Toyota RAV Hybrid, ranging from the normal mode to the eco to the trail mode to the EV mode and then to the sport mode. Guys, once you use sport mode, it's like you don't want to turn back and go to the normal or eco mode because it is a definite improvement and a pretty drastic change in the overall style of driving and the way the Toyota RAV4 responds to the road and to the acceleration. If you don't believe me, just try it. If you're cruising around 40 kilometers an hour and you turn the dial or the driving mode dial from normal or eco to sport, you will instantly feel the responsiveness change in your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, hands down. And that can get pretty addicting and pretty tempting. So what happened was, for the longest time, I was driving in eco mode, and then I went to normal, and then I went to sport. And I gradually got addicted to that driving mode because the Toyota RAV4 is just so much more enjoyable, fun, and responsive to drive in that mode. But when you're driving in sport mode, it does reduce the efficiency and you will make more frequent stops to the gas station, which I learned the hard way. I'm also going to give you a tip on maintenance for your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid a little bit later in this video, so make sure you stick around. That's right, due to the higher revs and faster acceleration and responsiveness from the motors, you will burn more fuel. I was averaging around 7 liters per 100 kilometers combined city and highway, but that jumped up to around 8 liters and even more per 100 kilometers. And I wasn't really understanding why until I realized that I was always driving in sport mode. Now, when you have the vehicle turned on, driving into sport mode, and you shut the vehicle off, you do your thing, you go back into the vehicle, start it, it will revert back to the regular normal mode. So you'll have to turn the dial every time to eco, to sport mode, etc., which that's what I was doing because it was just so much more of a better drive. But I was spending more on fuel, so I've become a little bit more conscious of when to use sport mode, if I'm in a hurry to get somewhere, or if I'm using the highway, or if I'm doing higher speeds. But generally, in and around the city and my daily commutes, I'm sticking to the normal and the eco mode. So keep that in mind, guys. Use the driving modes specific to your driving style and your territory of where you're driving and what your drive is like, because each different driving mode will respond differently, will feel different, and will be different on the pocketbook when you're talking about fuel consumption and fuel cost. All right, number 2 is driving with the AC too high all the time. So right now we are in the summer months here in Canada, and it averages around 25 to 30 degrees. And my default is to always have the air conditioner on, whether it's set to 17 degrees or 21 degrees. But that is also a mistake because it does drop your fuel efficiency of your Toyota RAV4. In fact, you'll probably already know, using your AC all the time or very frequently on high does drop your fuel consumption on any vehicle, but it's no different on a Toyota hybrid. Do use your climate control in a smart and responsible fashion. If you do that and you're not so aggressive with your air conditioning use, and maybe you use your windows sometimes, all these factors play a part in increasing your fuel efficiency and getting the maximum amount of financial benefit to and from your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. For example, for the past couple of weeks, I've been just driving with my AC on, whether it's like on 17, 23, 25, AC button, it's on, it's there, I use it, it's hot, but you burn more fuel, guys. Your Toyota RAV4 isn't going to be as efficient. So take that AC button off, use your climate control, use your windows unless it's extremely hot and you just don't want to deal with that, or if you have allergies or whatever the case is. The more AC you use, the less efficient your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid will be, period. Now, there's a hybrid guide ebook that I'm going to leave a link to in the description below that you can get that covers all of these criteria and all of these points and more. It's about 50 pages long. It covers how to care for your Toyota hybrid vehicle, how to maximize efficiency, what to expect in terms of maintenance, longevity, and I'll leave a link again in the description below. But let's get back to number 3 of what I was doing wrong with this 25 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid XSE technology package. Now, just as it gets hot in the summer months and you want to use your AC, you're gravitating towards that air conditioning button. It gets pretty cold in the winter months as well, sometimes 0 or below 0 temperatures for several months. And one thing I wasn't really taking into play and into consideration, which you're going to want to take into consideration if you want to maximize your efficiency and get the most out of your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid in the summer and in the winter, is taking the hybrid system into mind when you're in the winter cold temperatures, guys. For example, the optimal temperature for a Toyota RAV4 Hybrid or a Toyota hybrid vehicle to perform in is 25 degrees Celsius. So if anything is higher than 25 degrees or lower than 25 degrees, it is going to affect the way your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid or Toyota hybrid vehicle performs. And cold weather is no different. When you're in the colder temperatures, this does have an effect on the efficiency of your hybrid powertrain system because there is a chemical reaction that takes place within the electrified hybrid powertrain system and battery, which takes longer to happen in colder temperatures. So when you're getting up in the morning, you're starting your vehicle and you're going, you're going to want to at least let the vehicle warm up before you go on your commute. Whether you have the remote connect, remote starter function or not, have your vehicle started for about 5 or 10 minutes. Let it warm up a little bit to more of an optimal operating temperature, and then go on your drive. You should be able to experience a better fuel efficiency in the winter by doing this as opposed to not doing this with your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. I tested it out. A lot of the times I was in a rush and I just went in the vehicle, started it, went off to my drive, whether it was 10, 20, 30 kilometers to work or wherever it was. And I noticed that when I didn't do that and I let the vehicle idle and I let it warm up for 5-10 minutes, the drive felt better and also the fuel consumption went down. There wasn't so much of a fuel efficiency decrease by letting the vehicle warm up. Number 4 on the list of not really doing things the right way with my Toyota RAV4 Hybrid XSE technology package is not using regenerative braking properly. So if you don't already know about regenerative braking, you can get yourself the ebook down below and it explains exactly what that is. But in a nutshell, when you apply your brakes, you are actually sending power back to your high voltage hybrid battery, not your small 12-volt battery that powers all your electronics inside the vehicle. I'm talking about your large high voltage battery that powers your hybrid powertrain system. As you brake or as you coast in your Toyota hybrid vehicle, you are regeneratively braking and getting power regenerated and sent back to your high voltage battery. And when you're an aggressive driver, like myself sometimes, in your Toyota hybrid vehicle and you're constantly slamming on the brakes or slamming on the brakes last minute and not really giving the brakes a chance to get the regenerative braking going, it can decrease your efficiency and performance in your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid or Toyota Hybrid in general. So it's important to drive calmly. It's important to drive in a respectful manner to these technologies like regenerative braking, and applying your brakes last minute or slamming on the brakes last minute all the time or very frequently isn't really going to be good for your regenerative braking system, and it's not going to be good for fuel efficiency either. In a nutshell, applying too much force on the brake pedal or not anticipating the stop ahead and gradually using your brakes to slow down the vehicle will overall have an effect on your battery health and performance, so keep that in mind when you're driving your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Number 5 on the list of not doing things the right way with a Toyota RAV4 Hybrid is neglecting the tire pressure or neglecting to check the tire pressure on your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. Now, if you are servicing your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid at a Toyota dealer, this probably won't be an issue for you because it, I believe, is one part of the checks that they do on the services. But you're going to want to make sure you check your tire pressure on your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, because hybrid vehicles like the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid are more sensitive to tire pressure because of the way they're engineered for fuel efficiency. And having low tire pressure on some or all of your tires can lead to reduced mileage and poor handling. So make sure that you check your tire pressure regularly or have it checked at your service and maintenance intervals by the Toyota dealer. All right, this is where the tip comes into play, guys. When you have a Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, it still has to visit the Toyota dealer or your mechanic as often as a non-Toyota RAV4 Hybrid would have to do. You still need your oil changes done, your filter changes, your tire rotations. For the most part, the scheduled maintenance intervals are exactly the same on a RAV4 Hybrid versus a RAV4 non-hybrid. And the only difference really is that you might see that there's a few different components that have to get done on the RAV4 Hybrid versus the non-hybrid. For example, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrids don't have certain parts that the RAV4 non-hybrid has. So for example, there's no starters, there's no alternators, there's no drivetrains on the Toyota RAV4 Hybrids versus the non-hybrids. So overall, there could be less to service if you kind of want to look at it that way, but you still have to do things like change your air filters on your high voltage battery to make sure that the cooling system is flowing nicely and the temperature is remaining at an optimal operating temperature on your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. But in terms of service intervals, guys, you still got to visit the Toyota dealer as often as you would with a non-Toyota hybrid, which usually comes around every 8,000 kilometers on a Toyota late model vehicle. Another tip I want to make is make sure that you are servicing your Toyota RAV4 Hybrid only with a Toyota dealer. I would not recommend to service your Toyota hybrid vehicle, regardless of what year and what exact trim or model it is, with any other shop other than a Toyota trusted dealership for many reasons: warranty related work, anything pertaining to software, vehicle updates. There's certain criteria that Toyota certified technicians are trained on to look for and to know about that you may not get the same level of service and knowledge with an outside shop or mechanic. So keep that in mind, guys. Make sure you're servicing at your Toyota dealer and make sure you're following the scheduled routine maintenance on a Toyota hybrid vehicle. Although it seems like you're not using the vehicle as much because it's partially electric or hybrid, it still needs to get into the service department, get its oil changes, its filter changes, its tire rotations, the same way a non-RAV4 hybrid would have to do. All right, everyone. So keep all these points in mind when you're driving your current generation 2024, 2025, even 2023, and potentially even the 2026 Toyota RAV4 Hybrid. All of these factors still apply when you're talking about the electrification or the electrified version of a Toyota RAV4, whether it's a HEV or a PHEV. I hope you guys learned something and enjoyed this video and review. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.